Albert Einstein supposedly called this the eighth wonder of the world. He said, "He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it." Now, we don't actually know if Einstein really said that, but after 30 years of watching this work, I'm telling you, he wasn't exaggerating. Today's word is compound interest. Now, compound interest is simply your money making money, and then that money making money, and then that money making money as long as you let it. That's the whole magic. A friend of mine says, "Hey, interest is your friend. You don't spend your friends. You don't kick your friends away. You maintain and keep your friends," right? It's essentially your money hiring more of itself and then showing up to work for you every single day. Now, a financial professional, and I use that term loosely, might describe compound interest like this. Compound interest is the cumulative growth of capital wherein previously earned interest is reinvested into the principal, thereby generating exponential returns over successive compounding periods. Right. If someone's talking like that at a gathering, you have my permission to simply turn and walk away. We believe that simplicity is the secret, not only to mastery of a topic, but then being able to explain that topic. I'm not here to demonstrate how much I know by trying to sound smart. I'm here to demonstrate how much I know by making things very easy to understand. Now, one of the rules that accompany the rule of compound interest is what's often referred to as the rule of 72. And forgive me, because here's where it gets a little mathy. Okay, here's the part I want you to actually remember. It's a little math trick. It's been around for literally hundreds of years. It's called the rule of 72. And here's how it works. Step one is you take the number 72, and step two is divide it by your growth rate. What you get is how many years it takes your money to double. So let me demonstrate. Let me show you an illustrative 7% growth rate. So we take 72 and we divide that by 7. We come up with about 10, right? Forget the decimal points here now for purposes of explanation. Means your money roughly doubles every 10 years if you're earning 7%. If you're earning 6%, how long would it take your money to double? Very simply, 12 years. So $5,000 today becomes $10,000 in about 10 years at roughly 7%, right? $1 million today becomes $2 million in the 10 years that a 7% would return. Very simple. That's the magic of compound interest. But here's where it gets personal. Most folks I meet think the time for this math, the time to apply this math, has passed them by. We're talking about people in their 50s and 60s. They're saying, "Man, I just don't have time anymore to let this rule of 72 and the rule of compound interest work for me." And I'm here to tell you that's simply not true. A 65-year-old today has a real chance of living to 95, and indeed that's 30 years, which means if the math is on your side, you may have 3 more doubles still in front of you. And listen, one more doubling is life-changing. So I'm not saying we have to continue to grow our money to the moon in our 70s and 80s. That may not be your goal, but I'm telling you, don't give up on time simply because you're already retired or are approaching retirement. Now, the trap that most retirees fall into, here's the trap, right? It's the moment that a retiree decides to move everything to save money. There's a variety of reasons why this isn't smart in retirement, but I'm talking about your cash, your CDs, the types of accounts that are paying very low interest rates. Maybe you're getting 3.5% on a money market in today's environment. When you do that, you just unplugged yourself from the doubling. See, the math doesn't stop. It just stops working for them, for those who get far too conservative. And that's the most expensive, invisible decision that we see in personal finance. When you take yourself out of the compounding equation, give up on growth, you essentially, sort of kick your inflation fighter to the curb and you've gotten too safe. So, as I said, there's a lot of reasons why that doesn't make sense, even though we know protection is important. So here's the question I want you to sit with today, and that is, how many more doubles do you think you have left? And just as important, is your money in a place that lets this happen? See, if you've been told the time for compounding and growth has passed you by, I'm here to tell you it hasn't, because the math doesn't care how old you are. It only cares whether you're still in the game. And if you're not sure whether your money is still in the game, that is a conversation worth having. We serve people, not products, here at Tekton Wealth. I'm Darren Vilardo. Next time, we're going to talk about the force eroding your money. Oh, excuse me. We've already talked about the force eroding your money. That's inflation. And we talked about the force that grows your money. That's compound interest. But I want to talk about the principle that decides which one wins. Look for episode 13, diversification, dropping soon. Thank you so much. God bless. And as always, if you have any questions about your situation, please reach out via the web, send an email, click the like, leave a comment, whatever. Get in touch with us and let's have a chat about your situation. Thank you so much, and God bless.